welcome to you.
Welcome.
Not only do you say that America gave up on free markets, you say that France's are freer in some ways. How can that be?
Yeah, I know, it's surprising. And actually, there's some irony because I think the main reason French markets became free markets is because they got inspired by American regulations in the 1990s. So we stole your good ideas.
Yeah, well, the good ideas are, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. As they say, what's changed in France in the last 25 years?
So, I mean, one simple way to look at it is, I came to the US 20 years ago, and 20 years ago, internet service, cell phone plans, airline tickets, all of that was much cheaper here than in France. And today, when you fly around the world, you realize that it's the opposite. Be it in Europe, London, Berlin, Paris, be it in Asia, everywhere, these services are much cheaper than in the US. So over the past 20 years, things have changed.
You point out that the French used to pay 17% more than Americans for telecom services. Now they pay 27% less. And a similar dynamic in airlines. Air France used to have a near monopoly, but now there's all these low-cost airlines like Transavia and Hop and Vueling, and the US does not have that.
Well, but the funny thing is the idea, the business model of the cheap airline, low-cost airline, that's a US idea.
Yes,
it's an American idea. And it pretty much doesn't exist here anymore. Like, there is no real low-cost airline to speak of. We have 6 or 7 that are extremely active in Europe, including 2 that are really top competitors.
So one of the things here that gives me pause is, even though you point out the laws are more meant to encourage competition, that might be helping prices, the French economy is not more dynamic than America's. Your unemployment rate is 9% right now. They're trying to go on after this tech tax because basically the middle class is taxed out. And the GDP numbers have not been that great. So it's not necessarily translating to the same kind of economic power as America has, even though you would say our markets are less competitive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the first thing to understand is growth depends on many factors. And if you look at the big picture, competition is just one of them. Having good universities, good innovation, that's also very important. On the other hand, if you look at the numbers, actually, GDP per capita has been about 20% less in France than the US, but that trend has not changed over the past 20 years. If anything, it's coated a little bit. So if you look at the average EU citizen, it's still poorer than the average American citizen, but that gap has narrowed over the past 20 years. So the productivity growth are not that different between the US and Europe. But prices for the median consumers have become a lot more expensive here than in France or Germany.